Hi guys, welcome back. We are here to look into Cancer for April. Those of you who are new, a very warm welcome. Now, directly after, I will tune into Twin Flames. So if you're cross-watching or you are a Cancer Twin Flame, stay tuned. Hi. Okay, now I've pulled most of the cards ahead of time, and I've changed it up a little bit. This month, moving into April, I'm going into whatever cards I'm guided to use per particular zodiac sign. I'm just using them. Now, April, again, is still going to have, hi Dale, is still going to have quite a heavy energy, but it's more from the point of view of you might have 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, but it's only due to the retrograde cycle because we're going to have other planets, but I'll do that video separate because I tune into the energy directly. I'm trying to get through these videos so we can get onto the masculine and feminine energies. I do them live. Hi, Luciana. And then I'm going to start creating toolkits for the twin flame journey because obviously through the process of what I've been through on my journey, I'm hoping we can do different videos that isn't as time specific. It's more detailed as to the tools you can use to move your journey forward. Now, the energy for Cancer coming through, you've got a few storylines coming through actually. In your mind, there's a lot overall that you're not seeing, and you sense that it's coming, but you know something's coming that you're not going to see, if that even makes sense. It's like intuitively you have this awareness that something's changing, but at the same time, with your work and whatever you're working towards, you need to keep track of what you're dealing with, okay? It can be if you're looking for employment, you need to go hunting, you need to start seeking it. But again, any paperwork you're dealing with, really keep a fine eye on the detail. If you've got phone calls you need to make, errands you need to run, in association with employment, make sure you keep on it. Now, Mercury is direct, so to speak. We're in the shadow aspect of it. So getting it out now could be quite positive, but just make sure you read the fine print. It can still cause complications when it does come to contracts. But we do have Saturn going retrograde as well next month. So if you want to get that moving now, your best bet is to get the paperwork out now, apply for jobs, get all your work in order. Then the test factor is going to come up Saturn retrograde of, what is and what isn't working. We'll have Pluto as well, which will really show you what needs to end, what needs to change. This can be the way you're approaching yourself to your life. I will be doing a separate video on that, Andrew. Thank you very much. So, yeah, and I'm not wearing it because it's needing resize. So we'll have a comical chat about that later. So with your finances, Cancer, just, your financial sector, you're really worried, okay? You do have, it might be you're tying up loose ends, tying up bills. You're concerned about it. But at the same time, your clarification card is some of it you physically feel. What's blocking you is not seeing where the links are. Now, I'll explain. This card's in reverse, and the energy I'm getting is that external to you people are needing upon you. There's also past tense scenarios, in a sense, that are being tied up. That is sort of hindering you, but in tying them up, if you do deal with that, you do also need to look forward, not just in the here and now of what's going on. And that's quite ironic considering, most of what I teach is to be in the moment. But it's like, have the broad view, but at the same time stay present, if that makes sense. Financially, you don't know what is coming tomorrow. We never do, and we can't always prepare for it, but we can make wise decisions. It may be that some of the situations financially at this point are out of your control. So it's almost push the stop button, hi Dale, as to how you're going to move forward financially. Now, with the employment sector, your clarification card is what is going to block you, okay? Having mere faith in the fact that everything's going to come about is all good and well. But if you're not directly applying yourself to actually seek, to get things back on track, the toppling effect of the retrograde cycle next month will take a toll. So just make sure you've got all your loose ends tied up, hi Dale, so that you can actually move that situation forward, or it might become quite stressful. family domain. Now, I've pulled love and singles as well. Couples and singles separate. It's within this reading. In your family domain, for instance, if you're co-parenting, if you're directly looking at your family life, it can be brother or sister. It can be your direct tribe. Something in that situation's changing. The whole scenario of the storyline is changing. Now, I will be pulling clarifiers on these, and I'll backtrack and tune into it a bit further. What will block you is not cementing certain things in the idea. It's almost like, and this is very common in manifestation, your lower chakras of what you feel you have power of can become very problematic if you have blockages in those areas. So when we directly give it to universe, which is sort of what you're doing, and this may be your motto, give it to universe and it's all going to come together. Very relevant, very true, but we do have the power to put the work in and do the things we need to do. So with that, it sort of seems as though, you know, there are certain things you can do to balance this situation out, but perhaps you're feeling that going with the flow is the best motto. You're changing the way you're doing things, and that's quite relevant to the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn at the moment. So you're trying to clear up loose ends, change things, and this whole year is going to be very much that process. Now, we are moving next month into a phase of moving through moon cycles, obviously, and I have noticed that there is a Cancer moon through it actually coming out of the full moon phase. Now, with that energy, I am finding that is going to be a time frame where there will be change for you, and I'm either directly seeing that it's going to change 360 because you haven't taken direct action, or it's going to change because you have and you're taking the bull by the horns. Other people around you might be very agitated at the moment as well, and this can be energies of karmics, it can be co-workers, it can be friendships, family members, just other people in general. Now, I'm getting two messages. Other people could directly be your love interest, and it can be quite passionate, but there's a larger energy that's coming through, and that's very much people's agitation and fiery energy of the Aries frequency coming through the planets. The realization you're going to have this month is, because what's going to block you is if you have the rose-colored glasses on. Who's not changing and who hasn't, and who doesn't change their leopard stripes. Don't trust these people. If you've had history with particular people and they've never changed their stripes and they're saying they have, unless they prove themselves, you're going to get burnt. Be very, very careful of these people. You got shapeshifter in reverse, which means they haven't changed. Be very careful with them. What you're not seeing is there is a group thing that you're trying to directly deal with. This can be bringing a group together, bringing a family together, bringing a plan together. It's a delay at the moment, and what you're not seeing is there is a delay coming, and again, that can be due to the retrograde cycle. It is going to, you know, to get stressed about it, though, is not going to solve the situation. Again, your warning for this month is where you can take direct action, very much take direct action, because I'm seeing there's some things you're not looking at correctly. You need to do some third eye work at the moment, I feel. Really gaining that relationship back with your intuition. I do feel with these people in the past that have hindered you, I do feel it's an aspect directly connected to how they've impacted your intuition. Due to the fact there was so much going on, I feel, for you guys last year, I feel it's impacted the trust in your intuition, or even putting the effort in a particular fashion, because of the fact it's getting resized. If everyone's wondering what we're talking about here, I am engaged to my twin flame. So the ring has got resized, or it's getting resized, and I have to wait. I didn't want to, it was falling off, okay? So it just had to get resized. So we've got a bit of a joke at the moment because I'm a size L. So I said, what am I, a learner or a loser? Let's see. Hard back. Okay, so with some of you were thinking maybe to go back to a new job. It's saying potentially may not be. You need to have a fresh chapter. And this is very relevant. Nodes in Cancer and Capricorn. And this is the Cancer sign. You guys are changing everything. Everything you do will be very different. If you wait for if you're constantly going to do things that make people happy, of what you apply your life to, your clarification card is you're not going to get the benefits. You have to live for self. You have to do what's correct for you. And if people are pulling you in different directions and, you know, they're coming across as very fiery and saying they've changed, this is external people not changing. You will receive more misfortune and you will not be happy about this. So really guard yourself against this month. I did hear another reader mention Tigerite, and I'm totally in agreement with it. At the moment, spiritually speaking, you do find that when we're having a retrograde cycle and we're going through a purge, what can happen is I don't know, who the hell is that? I think he's been locked out. Give me 5. You're going to have to look at a blank wall for 5 because I've got someone blocked out. Well, there's a first for everything, isn't there? Okay. So what you're going to find is it won't benefit you. Be really careful with it. Now, with your finances, although you're worrying about things, you've got to end a cycle in order for that to actually come through. It's not that it's all doom and gloom. There is a method to the madness, but stressing about it and giving your power away and giving your finances away, so to speak, at the moment is not going to be the right way to do. Look after it, start planning, and look at what you can do. There's a pain body experience I'm seeing coming through for you guys, and that is directly connected to the family domain. It's not being taken from you. It's evolving and changing. Okay? And it may be a decision you make, not so much for it to be taken, but for you to release the situation and allow it to be the new chapter, whatever that's going to look like. You're not surprised about how this is going to go, though. You know what the blocks are. They're not a surprise. You understand the reasons why they're there. Interesting. Okay. Now, when it comes to the fact that something isn't coming together for you guys, and this is a big plan of what you're moving towards, it can even be a tribe, family. The reality is this could be causing a lot of conflict and making you feel quite down about the situation, but worrying about it and knowing the burden, it is a very heavy heart. There's a lack of consistency. Now, that can be the way it's flowing, or it can directly be the fact that other people aren't working with you. Those of you who are coupled, okay, the overall energy for Cancer is you know what you want to do. You've got an idea as to what you want to move towards or what it feels like. You've really taken, okay, you've got mask in reverse. So it's like, you know, being yourself, really feeling you can be yourself. Again, you are hoping that external to you, assistance will come. And I'm seeing this to be the next moon phase. And I do feel it's more the Libra moon than the Cancer moon. The energy between you is there's a lot of history. There can also be a lot of gossip. But you've got to paint the picture of the new, of what you're wanting. Now, you've got the Temptation card and sexuality. Again, I am feeling this is in relation to manifestation. It could be chemistry as well, but I am seeing the energy between you of wanting to manifest a new situation. And if you're not wanting children, be careful. Your partner at the moment is stepping back. Now, it might seem as though they're not wanting to move forward, but they're allowing some situations to change the way they're needing to, as well as the fact that they know some of it isn't on their side of the fence. So some of the control is directly out of their hands at the moment. They have done a great deal of healing. And there could be conflict around family at the moment. Okay. So with them taking their mask off, they actually wish to offer love within this connection and take it to the next level. And although they're hoping that universe will actually assist, this may be in relation to bringing a fresh start into the situation. This could even be a child coming into the situation. But in relation to being more room to move forward and to have this fresh start. I'm hearing that there's an energy that has shifted between you that is almost like a maturing of the frequency between you, and they've chosen their path. They've actually succumbed to the temptation with the both of you as a couple. With them not answering the call, this is in your partner's position. They know there's a falseness about a situation that's going on, but I don't feel this is directly connected to you. It is, but external. I feel as though they're looking at it and seeing the flaws in potentially, as we've got over here, the bigger plan of how it's going to go. But at the same time, they also know that some lessons need to come very separately to you guiding and speaking. So I'm feeling throat chakra. I'm feeling they're not chucking their opinion into a point where it's going to cause more conflict because they already foresee what's going to happen. They're stepping back to allow it to naturally evolve. Now, with this healing, you know, it was very painful. There was pain directly connected to this partnered energy, and it might be the physical situation of what's happening right now that it can be a frustrating scenario. But again, directly, I'm feeling external. But it's not in relation to you because the energy between you is very, very positive. Trying to bring things together. They may not have as much time to do the things, and they happen to be quite strong. So it might be to a financial level, especially in your position, you know, as tracker or working, and it being needing to be new. It may be that they're working, you're not, or it could be that you're working and they're not. And it's like you're trying to pick up the slack for each other, okay? Now, advice. Have faith that this is a process that is changing. And I do feel there is a lot of energy coming through for Cancer where some of the situations that unfold are actually going to change the energy of how you apply it this month. So I'm feeling as though it's almost like you're aware, like I said, the insight card came as your overall energy for this month. Now, what I'm sensing is you know, but you don't know. So it's almost like a psychic download. You intuitively feel that through this process, you're going to receive more answers and a way in which you're going to move forward. So I sort of feel as though your attitude with these dynamics that are happening this month are really going to change the way you do change the course of your path. And that's directly why right now things aren't coming together, is because this information is going to be food for thought and it's going to help you change the direction Because in the family domain, tribe domain, what you've got is a cycle is ending. A cycle is changing. It's not being stolen from you. It's you're changing course. You're moving in a different direction. Those of you who are single, it may be that you are actually tuning into a person. Now, the interesting thing is this could be a high vibration soulmate or twin flame. For those of you who it's relevant, or merely it could be somebody that you want a deep connection with if you don't have anyone in the midst. There's a delay in the offers, and it might be you need to meditate upon it, or the physical energy of the person is, because you can swap the frequencies. But you are wanting it to be a very solid spiritual connection. You're really healing through this process, and you're hoping it can be sorted. And you do feel really ready for that movement. But you do feel you're not enjoying the process of this, for this finalisation. A lot of it is on your side of the fence that you can actually manifest this. This can be coming through in dream states. A lot of you know how this story is going to go. You already know what's going to happen. So go back to, if this is a person you know, go back to what works. Go back and do the work on self. Do the meditation. Because I am feeling this is just a delay. It's temporary, and it can be due to the cycles moving through in April. But this energy is still present. This is healing. But you're not enjoying the process. You're looking at it a little bit too 3D. The offering that hasn't come in, you're feeling it's gone. When it comes to this connection, you feel you're being put in the friend box. You're sort of hoping, and this could be for some of you, they're actually in a karmic relationship. And it could be causing some confusion for you. I do feel there's communication coming in relation to what's going on with potentially karmic energy or with you. I feel you've got to tune into what way you want to go, especially for those of you who are cross-watching. When you're tuning into two outcomes, what happens is it pushes the pause button. You need to quite focus on the outcome over how to get there. Obviously, if there's something that you can do on your side of the fence, yes, you can make plans. And here's the clarification. It's like making a choice of the path, regardless of having the outcome. You need to make a choice, because while you're thinking of two roads, it blocks the manifestation. This will cause balance within you, as well as the movement forward. I'll be back in 5. If you want a booking, the link is below.